extraordinary claims that Meghan Markle is threatening to sue the British royal family and Prince William if her titles are removed.
Look, I don't know what kind of morning Meghan Markle was having when she told her friends, "No one's taking my Duchess title away," but one thing is clear, she's in full panic mode. And the funniest part is that the only person she's threatening is the future King of England from a mansion in California while making jam.
So you better get your lawyer ready, okay? It may not happen with King Charles, but it's certainly going to happen with King William V. Your titles are gone.
Ever since it was reported that it was William who masterminded the erasure of Prince Andrew's titles, Meghan has been crashing out hard. If they could erase the Queen's favorite son with a single signature, what chance does she have? She knows the inevitable is coming, which is why she's pacing, venting, and supposedly talking about lawyers like she's gearing up for some title fight. Could she really battle this out in court? Well, let's dig in.
We've seen a showbiz fall from grace quite like it. Meghan Markle, desperate Duchess, has hit rock bottom.
So, Meghan has apparently been running around telling friends that no one's taking her Duchess title away, and I swear, the confidence is wild. Because you can almost picture her pacing around the Montecito kitchen, gripping a mug of herbal tea like it's holding her whole identity together, and maybe it is. That title is the one thing giving her sparkle right now. She knows it, and everyone knows it. Insiders say she's panicked and defiant. Her words, not mine. She thinks losing the Duchess of Sussex title would erase her from the royal storyline, and honestly, that tells you everything. If you felt secure in who you are, you wouldn't treat a borrowed title from a family you dragged as the center of your personality. It's giving fear, it's giving identity crisis, it's giving someone who expected to be royal forever, then realized the palace gates don't open for Zoom calls. And here's the part that gets me. Meghan lives in California. She hasn't worked a single royal engagement in years. She roasted the monarchy in interviews, documentaries, podcasts, you name it, yet she's clutching that Duchess title tighter than her own brand deals. Think about that for a second. The same woman who said the institution mistreated her is now ready to lawyer up to protect the institution's title on her business card. You can't have it both ways. If the monarchy is so cold and cruel, why fight this hard to stay branded by it? Honestly, it feels less like pride and more like panic over what her career looks like without that royal shine. And judging by the mess happening with her products, her shows, and her launches, I think she knows exactly what she stands to lose.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex may lose their title. Why? How did this happen?
Well, this happened because Andrew lost the title and Prince William stood up and took notice at how easy it was.
Here's where the story gets even juicier. Because Meghan is acting like William is sitting in Kensington like a villain plotting to ruin her life, but the truth is a lot simpler. William watched what happened to Prince Andrew. One signature from King Charles and Andrew went from His Royal Highness to just Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. No ceremony, no drama, just a quiet royal correction. And that moment changed something for William. You can tell. People close to the palace say he finally figured out the smoothest way to pull titles when someone becomes a problem. He did not need Parliament, he didn't need a committee, he just needed a pen. That realization was a wake-up call for him, and Meghan felt the tremor all the way in California.
You're going to be Meghan Mountbatten Windsor, your husband's going to be Harry Mountbatten Windsor, and all your threats of legal action, I think, is something that William will quite rightly stare down.
William has been talking for years about a slimmed-down monarchy. Not a circus, not a side hustle machine, a real family brand built on public service. So when he sees Meghan and Harry using their titles for commercial projects and private deals while blasting the royal family every chance they get, it hits a nerve. He sees it as messy, as disrespectful, and according to insiders, he sees it as something that cannot continue once he becomes king. Think about how awkward that must feel for Harry. His own brother believing he cashed in on royal blood and embarrassed the crown, and Meghan knows William does not play around with this kind of stuff. Andrew proved that titles are easier to remove than people think. That is why she is spiraling. That is why the word lawsuit even came out of her mouth. She knows William has the power, and this time she cannot control the storyline.
Everyone had been saying, oh, you need an act of parliament, all this stuff. And then he just saw his father sign a writ, and he was like, oh, that is how it's done.
You know what gets me every time, though? The way Meghan and Harry talk about the monarchy like it ruined their lives, then they turn around and stamp Duke and Duchess of Sussex on every business deal they can get their hands on. It's the most dramatic love-hate relationship I have ever seen. If the crown was as toxic as they claim, you would think they would run from anything connected to it. Instead, they cling to those titles like they're oxygen. Let's be honest though, those titles are the engine behind everything they do in California. The Netflix deals, the documentaries, the podcasts that came and went, the book tours, even the lifestyle products. All of it gets elevated because people think they are dealing with royalty, not a former actor or a former spare, actual royalty. That little line under their names is the whole brand, and that is why Meghan is panicking a little bit. Because without the Duchess label, the shine fades. She knows the influencer market is crowded. Hollywood is not exactly begging for her return, and once the royal glow disappears, she becomes another celebrity trying to sell jam in a cute jar.
But she blows things out of proportion instead of focusing on the positive headlines that she did get.
What makes it funnier is how loudly they drag the institution they built their careers on. They call it cold, they call it racist, they call it cruel. Then they pop up at events in California acting shocked when people say the only thing interesting about them is the part they keep complaining about. You can't slam the royal family for years, cash the checks that come from being royal, then act surprised when the future king wonders why you still get to keep the badge. William sees the inconsistency, and so does everyone else. And Meghan's fear tells you she sees it too.
The delusion of this woman, I cannot understand for the life of me. As an American girl, you better shut.
So now Meghan is apparently preparing to take legal action against Prince William if he ever touches her Duchess title. It sounds crazy, right? Because it really does to me. The idea of Meghan Markle from her $9 million kitchen in California threatening the future King of England feels like something out of a sitcom, and not the good kind. The kind that gets canceled halfway through the pilot. Insiders say she wants to fight back in court if William decides the Sussex title no longer fits the royal brand. She is acting like she can scare a man who grew up watching lawyers try and fail to push the palace around. William is not sweating over Meghan and Montecito. If he could make his father sign Andrew's fate away with one pen stroke, there is nothing Meghan can file in Los Angeles that will undo the authority of the crown.
You don't know what you're talking about. You are not going to get to keep that title. It is going to be stripped, and just get used to it. Like, what do you think you're going to do? Like, this is not even an American thing.
And here's the part Meghan doesn't want to hear. The lawsuit talk makes her look desperate. When people feel secure, they don't start calling attorneys before anything even happens. This feels like someone trying to protect a title that props up her entire lifestyle. Without it, she becomes a regular celebrity with a complicated marriage and a struggling brand. Not exactly the fairy tale she envisioned. Harry is stuck in the middle. His brother does not recognize him anymore, and his wife wants to drag the monarchy into a courtroom over a title she stopped serving years ago. The whole thing looks messy. It looks emotional, and honestly, it looks like an empty bluff from someone who knows William holds all the real power. If Meghan truly believed she had the upper hand, she wouldn't scramble like this.
We've all talked about how he wants a slimmed down monarchy, and one of the reasons he does is because there's a big risk for embarrassment, as we again saw with Andrew.
Here is the part Meghan didn't see coming. For years, she banked on American media treating her like a delicate flower. The sweet Californian Duchess who escaped the cold, cruel royals. And it worked for a while, until people started getting tired. Then the crack showed, and now the gloves are completely off. You can tell things shifted when Megyn Kelly started calling out every cringe moment Meghan Markle tried to pass off as effortless charm. That Dodgers game clip lived rent-free in everyone's head. Meghan bouncing around like she won the lottery. That laugh that sounded like she rehearsed it in the mirror. Megyn Kelly gave it straight. She said it looked fake and loud, and people are agreeing.
They want people to think well of them, so they decide, you know what they really need? Us.
Then Piers Morgan jumped in because, of course he did, but this time the reaction was different. People were not saying he was being too harsh, they were nodding along, like finally someone said it out loud. And then Billy Bush stepped in with that segment about Kris Jenner's birthday party and Meghan Markle trying to act like her name means something in Hollywood. He said the industry was not fooled, that she's not Martha Stewart and the whole lifestyle expert act is collapsing. This is coming from someone who knows the entertainment playbook inside and out, and that has to hit hard. This is the shift. Meghan is not being handled gently anymore. The big names are talking freely, the tone has changed, and people are tired of the curated innocence. They see the pattern, they see the contradictions, and they're calling her out for it with no hesitation. For Meghan, this is the beginning of a very long media winter.
Meghan and Harry, these absolute cretins, decide to inject themselves into the devastation in Los Angeles for one reason: to get their faces back on camera and to improve their image.
Now, I swear, when I saw that video of the guy unboxing Meghan's $65 candle and finding absolutely nothing to light, I almost cried from laughing. It was supposed to be this classy, luxurious California lifestyle moment. Instead, the poor man opened the box, stared inside, and realized the candle had no wick. Not a thin one, not a hidden one, nothing. Just a jar full of scented wax sitting there like it gave up before it even started. And the internet went wild. People said it felt symbolic, and I beg you to tell me that it's not. A fancy label, a pretty box, nice packaging, then no spark inside. That is Meghan's entire post-royal brand in one product. Everything looks polished until you try to use it, then you realize the details are missing.
Meghan, girl, you need to stop while you are ahead, because you're going to look like a fool.
This is the same woman who sat in interviews bragging about being a perfectionist. She said she is all about quality and details. She said she reviews everything herself, and yet somehow the candle gets shipped out with nothing to light? How does that even happen? Who is running quality control over there? Archie? What makes it worse is the price. $65 for something you can't even use right out of the pack? What's the value then? Where's the luxurious feeling customers were supposed to get? It's nowhere to be found. You cannot give a speech about female entrepreneurship, then sell a candle that cannot perform the one job a candle has: light. That wick became the joke of the week, and honestly, the metaphor writes itself. Meghan keeps trying to present herself as the next big lifestyle icon, but people are noticing the same problem. It's all show with no flame, kind of like that candle.
Not even in that country where this is relevant. And you don't even want to go back to this country, the UK. So why do you think you are entitled to something?
I tried to sit with that With Love Meghan holiday special for a second, and all I could think was, who is this woman trying to be? Because the branding said warm and heartfelt. The rollout said cozy traditions, but the energy felt like someone Googled how to appear relatable and copied the first 5 bulletin points. The launch date alone was a mess. She told everyone it was coming in November, now it's December, and that's not even a big deal. But rather than own up to it, she chose to use her usual PR gimmicks. Looking at the highlights alone makes you wonder if it's worth the binging time. I mean, do I want to sit down to watch Meghan arrange cookies like some lifestyle expert who can't act natural for a second? And the funniest part is how the media tried to spin it. Some outlets claim the show was renewed for a second season. Meanwhile, insiders swear both seasons were filmed at once and chopped in half to make it look like a hit. This is the kind of thing you do when you know people will watch out of curiosity, not love. The whole special felt like a Pinterest board. It's cute decorations, pretty plates, but nothing underneath that felt real. It's hard to build a lifestyle empire when the lifestyle feels manufactured.
You're not our fucking prince. You'll never be king. We hate your wife. Stay at home in your $29 million mansion.
Harry is the part of this story that makes me stop and sigh, because you can tell he is not the same man he used to be. Even people close to the palace say William barely recognizes him anymore. They describe Harry as angry, jumpy, and always ready to defend Meghan even when the situation looks bad, and it is sad, because you can feel how heavy that must be for him. William reportedly said he does not know who his brother is now. That hit me. Imagine watching your sibling transform into someone you cannot read. Someone who used to joke with you, then suddenly becomes distant because every conflict gets filtered through a partner who sees the world as one big battlefield. And while Meghan is busy fighting to protect her Duchess title, Harry feels stuck between two worlds. He left the royal family for peace, but he didn't find any. He tried becoming a Hollywood public figure that didn't land either. His brand is fading and his family ties are strained. The identity he built for 30 plus years is gone and the new one has cracks all through it. People are saying he wants out of the chaos but does not know how. And honestly, watching it play out feels like watching someone lose pieces of themselves in slow motion.
This doesn't even make sense to me that she would even think that she deserves this title. What in the world is going on with her?
So now we wait. Because once William becomes king, one signature can change everything, and Meghan knows that. If William decides the Sussex brand has embarrassed the crown long enough, that title is gone, and the day that happens, the internet will shake. Meghan will act shocked, Harry will look confused, and the rest of us will be sitting here saying we saw this coming from a mile away. Tell me in the comments, should William take the titles or let them keep playing pretend? And stay tuned because this story is nowhere near finished.